Alright, so Deep Rock Galactic Rock, let's go. The video is about 26 hours after launch. Very good sign. They responded to feedback. Concurrent players currently 24k and 42k peak. It is a midweek. Weekend might probably bring even more players. Well, in this video we will be talking about the response they provided to us, what are the current issues, and what are my own experience after 11 hours of game. Yeah. So, my first impressions of the game. Well, the game feels already very polished for early access, and the core gameplay is really fun. There is a pretty strong, good atmosphere. It is really good in progression phasing. So even the unlocking things takes a lot of time. So it feels designed for a long-term play. It's not just like I will play for a few hours and then I will quit because there will not be anything else to play with, right? I think the game already has very strong foundation, but there are bugs. So we will be talking about the bugs as well in this video. But first we will be mentioning the response of the developers. And well, this is I am feeling good and bad about the response, and I would rather, well, they need to be really cautious, but let's talk about the real things. So, developer response. Yeah. So they are taking a feedback seriously. They are focusing first on crashes. There are some soft blocks. They want to improve the tutorial and clarity of the informations or something like that, and the onboarding process for a new players. So they change actually the roadmap. Uh, uh, yeah, they change the roadmap depending on the feedback. But in my opinion, what I think is how to say that. I don't want to be rude, but these days, the game developers want to build connection with the player base, and sometimes they can go too far, if you know what I mean. So, yeah, I'm just a little bit concerned about that. They need to, in my opinion, stay strong and assertive. They need to also be assertive with the player base. But they will mention that as well. So let's get to that. What is the biggest issue? Well, players were concerned about the ammunition. So the most fail runs happened because player just ran out of ammunition. I think, in my personal opinion, when I ran out of ammunition, it was especially during the final defense elevator section. You are just like going with the elevator deep down, 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 and you have a stages. And on the end, you always fight the wave. You need to like protect the generator, and then you escape with the elevator. And there is there is never ammunition nearby. So if you are not thinking about your ammo during your run, that in few minutes you might get run out of ammo, and then you will not be able to defend the last wave. So yeah, in my opinion, if they want to solve the ammunition problem, just give the ammunition resupply near the near the end elevator where the fight begins. That will solve everything. You don't I don't think there is anything else you need to do. This will be pretty good, I think. So that's my feedback or maybe suggestion. Then there are these UI clarity problems, and I will be discussing this from my personal perspective as well. What I think is that the game systems are not always intuitive at the first glance, and the second thing is they are not providing you enough information that they could provide. What I mean by that is, let's say you have a map and you want to see a server list, then there is some kind of complexity. Is that the difficulty, right? Why it's named complexity? Is it a difficulty? I am not so sure. Then there is a depth. What is meant by depth? You go deeper, then you have like more difficulty, but that is a complexity or not? So you know what I mean. You go deeper and you have different biomes, or some different enemies can spawn there. Yeah. So this is basically, we don't know what these terms are. So it's not clear, right? Then another thing is we have different icons, and we don't really know what those icons are. And I bet we will not even learn it what those icons are. What I mean by icons, just to what I mean by icons is, okay. So we have a lot of different icons in the game. I mean by like a special icon is for a special, I don't know, buff that you can like choose. And then players have different buffs, right? During the gameplay. They choose the different buffs, like have a more ammunition and stuff like that. But when you are trying to see your teammates and what they are building, and you cannot see, you can see only icons, but you don't know the meaning of the icon, because there is no system in the game that will help you learn what those icons means. So yeah, what I think, if the icons would even have a hover over tooltips, it could help the game massively, because then you have additional thing you can do in the game during your run, and you can study the builds of your partners, or you can maybe see, okay, you are aiming for that. You can maybe suggest some additional buff you can that guy can take, or there is an additional interaction. But now you can check your own buffs that you, because when you gain a level, you can choose from buffs, right? And whole team can choose different buffs, and that way you are building your like current run build, right? Yeah. So you can see basically your teammates, what they are building. It's not clear. All right. So then what is next? Yeah, and speaking of, I mean, icons, you can't even hover over the weapon info of your teammates, or I don't know. Just you need more explanations. And my suggestion is, if you bring, okay, there is one solution. You can create a so-called hover over information. When you hover over something, it will display you what it means, right? But in my opinion, that is just let's say quick fix. But I would like to see some kind of interface rework while you are in the run itself. So you, let's say, see the icon, which is, let's say, sword, and on the right side you will have a text. You will do 30% more melee damage. And then you will have another icon underneath, which will be another buff, and it will display another buff. So that way you can check your first teammate, second teammate, third teammate, and in one interface you will see all the buffs they currently have obtained. So that way you can understand clearly which character, let's say this guy is green because he's playing, I don't know, Falcon or whatever, and you can see right next to him, okay, he has more DPS, okay, this guy is building tank. And when you when you press Control, which will like display your teammates, you can immediately see where the guy is and what he's doing, and you can understand, okay, this guy is tanking, and he's doing a good job, I can help him with something. So this is my like initial like I don't know, maybe idea. This is what I would do if knew if I had all my experience, if I had enough experience to make it right. So okay, let's move on. Let's move on. So uh regarding to map, I have one more point. So if you uh, if you see the workbench, you need to come close to workbench and press E. Then you need to open your map. By the way, if you have your map opened by tabulator, you need to stay on the one spot. You cannot be moving during the map open, which is I think very limited. I would like to see that if you press tabulator, you can still be doing WASD, right? You can be moving anywhere. I think it will add more dynamics to the fights and everything, to the runs itself. Because I feel a little bit annoyed when I need to open the map. Not to mention, map is not really that clear because it's quite. Let's be honest, it's not that. Yeah, it is sometimes hard to navigate in the map. But that is a huge topic itself, so I will not go into the details. So, and regarding to that, when you click on the workbench and you need to find a special box and you need to open the map and try to locate a small dot where there is, okay, where is the box? Oh, there it is. So what you can do, by the way, is just if you interact with the workbench and you are trying to find the box, then just let it be that you when you press Control, it will basically show you where the box is. As there are multiple interactives, if you press Control, you can see your teammates and stuff like that. So that way, you will be like you will immediately see the direction where you need to run for that box. So you don't need to like open the map. When the map is open, you cannot fight. And what if there is a swarm coming at you? You know what I mean? All right, let's go to the next one. So, okay, so developers had feedback and they responded that players are not really fans of the shared upgrades. So I would like to disagree with that. And let me explain why. Because I think uh, what players are experiencing right now, it's a chaos and also not knowing what upgrades are in the game. So currently, just to mention how it works. So currently, if you level up, your whole team levels up, and all of your guys needs to get to one place, and then after a half second, you can choose the upgrades, right? But all the members needs to be at one spot. So that creates some kind of tension, and then some players during the interface need to think longer when they are choosing the upgrades, because if you choose one upgrade, the second guy cannot choose that upgrade. But I think if it I think this system is really good, and I would suggest not to change anything about that, just to add more information inside that interface, so you can see like the other what they already took before, which upgrade. All right, so I think players are not really fan of that just because they don't know what they can choose. Sometimes it takes a long time for others to decide, but I think like in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, there will be so many players already knowing what they want, and it will be much more quicker. And I don't think the developers should change anything about that. Okay, so that's my opinion. Then we have 9 point. It's just a small quality of light ideas. So there is one thing, but I don't think like this is just what can be added to the game, but it's not mandatory. So in the future, just small idea. So if you bring more voice lines to the game, what you can do, you can basically right now we have a if you press a V key, you should like for rock and stone, and you have like let's say 5 or 10 voice lines that can happen. But what if there would be something like a radio menu, or if you can assign another key, let's say I will assign C key, and the C key will means a different thing in regards to the voice line. For example, like I need assistance, or let's go there because my loot bug is blah blah blah. So let it be like on the more keys than just a W, or than just a V key. Also you have X key. It's like, oh, come here, come to me, come to me. So I would like to see more keys with more directions of the voice lines. What you can say. That way you can, as a player, communicate, and it can create more dynamic to the gameplay itself, because we don't know each other as a players usually, if we are not like playing together and knowing each other. So usually players are just like randomly queuing into with others, and imagine you have like more depth to the to communication. you know so that's my line, just like I had that thought in mind. So it could be like work on in the future. Then I would like to have final thoughts. So, main conclusion: game has a strong potential. Problems feel fixable. The foundation is strong, and the devs responding quickly is important. But uh, I would say be cautious, because, in my opinion, dev needs to be assertive, strong, listening to feedback, but not be lost with the community itself. They need to have a clear vision, and of course, these days are difficult. You want to have, let's say, community. You need to have community. You need to build a good community. But usually, it's like there are a lot of demons out there, right? And how can you see who is a demon, who is an angel, and whose feedback is correct, and whose is like just demon like. So you need to be really cautious in this regards. It doesn't it needs as a team, as a developer, you need to stay strong and assertive, and you need to decide like you need to have a clear vision for your game. That's right. So uh I really want this game to succeed, and I think it will. Then what else to say? Rock and Stone. See you on the next one.